Hi, this is Aaron from aaroncross.com, and I'm sharing today with you about what are the three principles. Probably one of the most important questions to ask on this three principle journey by Sydney Banks that I've taken on. And if you've watched any of my other videos, then coming to this one is a real must, probably the most important out of the lot, because it sets the foundation for how we can improve our own life in peace, happiness, more calmness, tranquility through understanding about these three principles. These three principles are psychological, spiritual principles which defines how we create our reality in moment to moment, every day in our lives. And we operate in these three principles whether we realize it or not. Something similar to the three principles by Sydney Banks would be gravity. Gravity's working there whether we realize it or not. I could take a ball, I can throw it to you. Now, whether you know that gravity's in play, in force or not, you're going to catch the ball and you live your life and you caught the ball. But when you understand, in the case of the three principles, what's going on behind any experience we have in life, it really makes a big difference. Going back to the ball analogy with the gravity, I throw the ball and the gravity works, and you catch the ball and you didn't know or you did know, and the gravity itself is a neutral thing. It's not bad, it's not good. In the case of me taking a ball and throwing it to you, well, I might have just been very friendly to you as I threw the ball and we're having fun. So I could define that as being something good. On the other hand, if I took the ball and I was really angry and I throw it at you and I'm angry, well, that would be something not nice, something bad, so to speak. Gravity itself isn't bad. It's just the meaning we give to what's being done with the gravity as being bad. Same too in the principles of thought and consciousness. They're not bad, but it's the meaning we give behind it. I'll elaborate on that in a minute. First, let's go to the first principle, or the first principle that I'd like to explain, of mind. Mind represents the hidden intelligence behind all life. I, as a religious Jew, I call it God. He's behind everything, and he's good, and he's trying to come out, and he's always trying to communicate with us. This intelligence behind life, this invisible intelligence that we can't see, it's in you, it's in me, it's in everything. It's in the wood, it's in my chair, it's in everything we encounter. There's that life, animation of life that's invisible, that we can't see, that's animating everything and keeping everything going. It's the fuel behind our ability to experience everything we have in our life. And that brings me on to the next principle of consciousness, our experience, our understanding. What we're seeing in the moment represents consciousness. I'm sure you've heard we've got to raise the consciousness of drug abuse, let's say, or alcoholism. We want to raise the awareness, raise the global consciousness of certain issues that we're trying to help the world with. So consciousness is just really your understanding of where you're at any time, at any moment. We often describe as people being in a low sense of consciousness or a low mood when they're angry. When you're coming from that level of consciousness, your vision is usually very skewed and very limited. You don't have a very broad perspective because you're angry, or I'm holding on to a certain idea. On the other hand, when I'm calm and more relaxed and feeling more easygoing, my vision can get wider. I can get to see a wider picture of life when I'm not so caught up in my own thinking. And speaking about thinking, thinking is the next principle. Thought, that is the paintbrush that defines our experience of what we're being conscious of. For example, we could all go to a party together and we all experience the same event at that party together. All five of us, let's say. We come out of the party and we all ask ourselves, are we all at the same party? Because we've all got such different thoughts and experiences and a level of consciousness about what transpired at the party. We all uniquely have our own unique experiences of what happened in the same incident, which is really interesting because our paintbrush, our thought, defines what we think of what happened and hence our experience of how we feel about it. And it's really interesting because there's one more point that I want to go to, and that is the idea of our own natural set point of innate health, which is, it's in all of us. It's the soul, that's the existence that's in me, it's in you, and it's always trying to come out, but it often gets covered over by our thought, especially our negative personal thoughts on situations. When we're angry and we're upset, we can't often listen to the deeper calling of our inner voice that's trying to reach out and tell us something new and fresh, because we're so caught up that it's got to be this way and it's my way or the highway, or we're feeling self-righteous. How dare you, how dare she, how dare he, how could they say such a thing, and we dramatize a whole story around one little incident. But what happens is, when we, let's say, forget about it for a while and we come back to it and we revisit the same incident, it's not so heavy on us anymore. We don't have to take it so seriously anymore. I remember when I was a little kid, I'd cut my finger and I'd be crying, it's ghastly, it's terrible, blood, put a Band-Aid on, and then just forget about it. A few days later, I'd look at it, the cut's healed. What happened? I forgot about it, came back, it's either nearly healed or nearly gone. I don't make such a big deal about it anymore. Often we make a big deal out of things that we don't need to make such a big deal out of, because we take our thoughts so seriously. We come under the grip of our thinking, and we think that out there is the reality, and we don't realize that we're really creating the reality from within. It's an inside out approach. But that person over there made me angry. Well, I would say, can we reverse it and say, instead of an outside in approach, pointing the finger out there, point the finger back at me and realize, oh, it's my interpretation, my thinking that's getting me upset about what that person is saying. What a freeing and beautiful calming effect that has on me when I realize, oh, I don't have to take my thinking so seriously. Thoughts are like on a conveyor belt. They're always traveling through. So if I don't like a certain thought, do I have to give it so much significance? It's only a thought. I'll let that one go through. What's coming down next on the conveyor? Oh, that's a nice thought. I'll hold on to that. I feel good. With that sort of approach, you can often become much calmer, much quicker. It doesn't mean that you're not going to get angry. It doesn't mean I'm going to be in this state of nirvana. I'll cross my legs and I'll meditate and I'll go to Tibet for 2 years and I'll learn all these techniques. You don't have to do that. You just have to realize that your state of mind is going up and down all the time. We're not in this constant state of relaxation and calm. I get angry, I scream, I get upset. Welcome to the human race. But when I realize and I catch myself and I'm onto myself, oh, that's my thought making me feel that way, I wake up to the reality, oh, that's my thought. Do I want to hold on to that? I realize I have a choice. I can let go. Okay, what else is coming down the pike? What else is there? Oh, I'll take that thought. And even when you're angry, those states become more graceful and you come out of them much easier, because you realize, oh, I now have a choice. And if you've heard me say this at this video, you've now got a choice too. You realize that you've got a choice. You always had the choice. Your innate health is always there. You just have to choose it and choose to realize that, oh, I don't have to hold on to that if I don't want to. I can just let go and be open to something fresh and new. So that's mine, the fuel and the invisible intelligence, which I call God, which is behind all life, operating all the time. Consciousness, our experience, which allows us to have this three-dimensional sense surround sound experience that we call life, that we see now. But it's not so real, because I can change it through the third principle, thought. My paintbrush, to say, oh, I don't like that design. Let's go for a different picture. Let's go for a different thought, hence a different feeling, hence our consciousness, a different experience. I hope this was helpful for you, because just thinking about it actually calms me down, and it makes me feel really good and in a very loving, understanding approach to people, things, and circumstances. It doesn't mean you won't have noise. It doesn't mean you won't have difficulties in life. It just means you can sail through it with and take the edge off it and be a little bit more graceful in the lows and the highs. If you like this, please give us a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed, please do so. And also, if you would like to continue this conversation with me, as I am a 3 principles practitioner, I see clients, I'm happy to see you too. Give me a call on the numbers up there. They're Australian numbers. Even the US number is in my US phone in Australia. So please Google Melbourne, Australia before you call me, so you're calling at a reasonable time. And you can also email me there as well. Thank you very much and have a wonderful day. Bye for now.